Good morning and welcome to the Heart Talk Network. Tonight we're diving into an important and controversial topic, the role of stereotype threat in police encounters and how racial disparities in policing are shaped by psychological factors. Our discussion is based on a study by Nostrowski, which examines how Black individuals experience stereotype threat, the fear of confirming negative racial stereotypes during police encounters. This fear can unintentionally affect their behavior, sometimes making officers misinterpret their actions as suspicious. We'll discuss another study by Glaser that explores how implicit bias in police decision making contributes to racial disparities. But first, let's break down the research and see what the science has to say.
Thanks, Ariana. Yanowski conducted a study to investigate how Black individuals anticipate and respond to police encounters due to stereotype threat. Let's take a closer look at the study key findings. So the method that we have is participants imagine themselves in a police encounter and reported their expected emotions, behaviors, and concerns. The results we got from that was Black participants felt more anxious and fearful about the misjudged, leading to behaviors such as avoiding eye contact or hesitant when speaking. So from that, these behaviors, though harmless, might be misinterpreted by officers as suspicious, reinforcing the negative cycle of racial disparity in policing. This study shows that stereotype threat isn't just abstract concept. It actively shapes real-world police interactions and can escalate tensions even when no crime has been committed.
To further explore the issue, we looked at a second study by Glaser, which examines how implicit bias affects police officers' decision-making. The study analyzed police research data and found that discretionary searches, where officers had personal judgment on whether to search someone, were more likely to be influenced by racial bias. Officers disproportionately searched Black individuals, even though searches of white individuals were more likely to find contraband. Glaser suggests that limiting discretionary searches could help reduce racial disparities in policing outcomes. Together, these studies highlight a two-sided issue. Black individuals experience heightened anxiety in police encounters due to stereotype threat, while officers may unconsciously act on racial biases during stops and searches. These psychological factors contribute to the ongoing challenges in police-community relations.
So what does this all mean? Both studies showed that racial disparity in police aren't just about individual prejudice, but also about how social and psychological factors shape behavior. Understanding stereotype threat and implicit bias is crucial working together fairer and more effective policing. But what does the community think about this issue? Let's take it to the streets to hear what people have to say.
The video's already started.
All right, hello and welcome back to the Heart Talk Network. I'm with Summer here and I have a couple questions to ask her on our topic. First question is, do you think racial bias plays a role in police encounters?
I do.
Why?
And the reason why I think that is because I think a lot of our law enforcement takes the badge to their head and uses that as a form of control. And they judge people by, the smallest things, how they dress, how they look, and everything. They don't really know the person. And yes, so my answer is yes.
Okay, and second question. Have you ever felt nervous around the police even if you weren't doing anything wrong?
Yes. I guess it's just the fact that they have, that demeanor about them. But yes, it does make you feel very intimidated, especially when they pull up behind you and they're running your tag. You feel intimidated.
They pull real close.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah.
Okay. And the last question I have for you today is, what do you think could improve police-community relations?
I feel like being a little more open with the people and building relationships instead of just always going to attack them for what they're doing. Show them that you're there not just to do something wrong, to get them in trouble for what they're doing, but to actually protect them as well.
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me today, guys. I'm here with Mayani, and we are going to ask him a couple questions about today's topic. First question is going to be, do you think a racial bias plays a role in police encounters?
Yes.
Why?
Because a lot of police officers, they stereotype and they misjudge people based on their experiences and stuff like that. So I feel like they just stereotype a lot of people sometimes. I don't think it's their intentions a lot of times. I think a lot of times, they do be kind of, afraid for their life too.
Right.
Because of what we see in the media, in movies, in culture, like black culture specifically, Hispanic culture, and just, how it is, what's the norm for today.
All right, thank you. And the second question is going to be, have you ever felt nervous around the police, even if you weren't doing anything wrong?
Yes. One time, I got pulled by police,
Mm-hmm.
and I was eating, and thought he was gonna take my pizza, so I got a little nervous. No, I was just kidding. No, I'm joking though. But no, really though, I got pulled over, on a highway, coming to the office one day, and the police officer he was so close behind me, like I was driving. He pulled me over, but he was driving like, I'm talking about, he was on me like this.
Like bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper,
Right.
like, well, I'm like fearing for my life at the time. Like for real, like I could have got like seriously.
Like ran off the road, basically.
Seriously, I could have gotten into an accident because that's how close he was to me. I mean, anybody with that type of attitude that only got no regard to not even just me and his safety, but everybody else around me. And of course, when he pulled me over, he was a jerk. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I was like a little bit nervous. So, I made sure I was sharp.
All right,
all the
that's
time.
good.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry for the inconvenience.
That's all good.
All right. And the third question we have for you today is, what do you think could improve police-community relations?
I believe that the city and wherever the police or whoever the police is employed by, they need to do a better job in recruiting and stuff like that. I feel that the qualifications that's needed to be a police officer should be a little bit more, they should raise them a little bit more.
Like more tests and like mental tests and
like
everything.
mental, psychology, and it should just be like a regular job. Like we look down like, oh, this is a police officer. Like I feel like that's a very, very respected and important, career path.
Right.
And they protecting our communities and our families and ourselves sometimes. So I want those people to make sure they got all these screws on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if y'all want to give them some more tests, like some psychology tests, put them through some. It should be like it should be
like a little test.
Right, and I believe that I don't believe enough attention has been devoted, to this area.
Right.
So maybe that's another discussion that we need to start having.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
All right.